Hello viewers, it's Cynthia Michael from Screen Reviews, bringing you my 703 podcast. This is my 703 podcast. Like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I'm going to try to do my best not to break your heart, not to cause any RE feedback as well during this RE podcast recording. So basically, once again, I'm gonna try to do my best not to cause any audio feedback during this, during this, not to cause any audio feedback during this audio podcast recording as well. And also, if you're under 18, this podcast will have some adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will have some adult language. If you're under 18, now if you're over 18, then you get to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, with this and everything else out the way, let's get into the topic. Recently, I just finished watching the final season of Blood of Zeus, and I gotta say, it was not bad. So basically, I gotta say the final season of Blood of Zeus was not bad. So basically, Heron and his brother, Siphon, basically got themselves, got the even though things didn't turn the way out that they want to, but at the same time they did made a difference towards the word of man and also towards the man and towards to the Greek gods as well. Now, well, I know the way that season two ended, cause you know how it was kind of suck how what's the name how Hades ended up killing Hero because he didn't want Hero wanted to make sure that the gods go back to doing their job, but him and Persephone, the whole situation with Hades and Persephone, was kind of like it was kind of messed up. So basically, I felt like Hades, Gaia, and Hades to kill him in the first place. Gaia would have not leased that monster on the Greek gods and whatnot, or Hera could have been reasoning with, Hades could have reasoned with Hera about, hey, me, my little Persephone, I need some he could have made a deal with him, hey, maybe fix the deal, that Hades doesn't have to be fully bound to the underworld most of the time, because he always has he can go on he can go to the surface of the room once per day, and that kind of sucked, and put in that distant relationship. Persephone can stay the winter with him and whatnot until spring and whatnot, etc., etc. But I feel like this whole thing was about hey, Hammer was like, hey, I choose to do this, I choose to do this, like Hammer was like, I choose to do this, but at the same time, when you got this serpent, he's like, hey, I'm forced to do this. So basically, like Hammer was choose to do things, that he thinks that he believes that will better the word of man and God. Better the word of man with and making the Greek God, sorry, tongue tied. So anyway, Heaven chose to do things to help better the world of man. But when it comes to the cruelty of man, his brother serpent, it was like, I've been treated like crap, I've been screwed around by the Greek god. So basically, going Gaia was like, you Greek gods have screwed up big time. You guys have have been selfish, have put you guys have been selfish and petty towards each other and towards mortals as well. And Guy had a point about this, nobody's perfect. Nobody. You could be. I mean, I just say, like, don't get me wrong. You could be the Pope. You could be the Pope. That the Pope is not a perfect person. Don't get me wrong. The Pope never said. No Pope says I'm not a perfect person. I'm just. I try to do the best at what I at what I do. Doesn't make me a perfect person. I know I do have my flaws too. I have my doubts and whatnot. But at the same time, I will always try to do my best. So basically, I think that the whole message of this final season is like, hey, we do mess up sometimes. Sometimes we do get, sometimes we do get what we deserve. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes life can be easy. Life can be sometimes life can be easy to some people, and sometimes life can be hard for some people. So basically, that's the whole idea of this. Like with Hammer and Sirius, he didn't really have like Hammer didn't really have a easy time with it, unlike his brother who had a real dark time and whatnot with his in his lifetime. But at the end of the day, hey, they dealt with the hands that was dealt with. They dealt the hands that life gave them, and deal with those problems. So anyway, I kind of wish that this wasn't the final season of Blood of Zeus, but like I gotta say, this was a good, okay, good final season. So basically, we got to see Kodos in action along with the Titans and whatnot. We got some good fight scenes and whatnot with the monster, with the monster, with monster and whatnot, with the monster, with the Greek slave monster and whatnot in the final season. But I'm hoping that I really would like the showrunners to really do a Hercules and Xena animated series. So basically, I think the creators and the showrunners for Blood of Zeus should should tackle bringing back Hercules and Xena for a new age in animated in animated form, because Kevin Servo, we know that Kevin Servo and Lucy Lars who plays Xena, and Kevin Servo who plays Hercules, no, in those shows, Xena Warrior Princess and the the journeys of Hercules, say that they're very thankful for those shows. Put make them they always had fun times, doing those shows, and basically it's for the fan base. So basically, what I'm trying to say is let's get the showrunners, the creators and showrunners who did Brother Zeus to bring back Hercules and bring back Hercules and Gina Water Princess in animated form. But but that would be a topic for another podcast. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, this final season. This final season was good. I wish that I wish that we would have got a. I wish this year. I wish the Brothers series would continue, but it is what it is. And also, like I said before, sometimes we are dealt with. Sometimes we have to deal with the hand that life gives us. So basically, you can have an easy life, you can have a hard life, but sometimes we have to push for we have to keep on going forward with life, matter it's easy or not, and also and also be aware that we're not perfect. And like sometimes we should acknowledge that but we're not perfect people. We're gonna Yeah, people will screw up time to time, but realize you're not a perfect person. Keep in mind that look, I'm gonna try to do what I got to do, but I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but I had done some stuff, done stuff, some stuff in my life. So basically, like hey, I'm not a proud of, but every day, but I choose to go on like and still better myself and still be humble that I have my flaws. Everybody has flaws. People, everybody has flaws. So basically, that's what those were the lessons in this final season that the Greek gods realized that facing that this is that order events that you guys call none of this would happen if you guys were you guys caused this hey, Hamo serpent these guys were just innocent pawns and scheming and whatnot and betrayals and whatnot and basically led to your guys led to some carnage and realized that you guys need to get your shit together. So anyway, what do you guys think about the final season of Blood of Zeus? Good, bad, or just okay, or just nah? Please let me know with the comments below this podcast. Anyway, sign off from Screen Views. One.